up for you. Hi everyone. So today we are going to talk about all the seedlings that I have started and give you a little preview at the end of the video of a tour of our garden space. So let's jump in and first talk about the spaces that we're going to be growing in this year. So in previous years, I have only ever grown things on my balcony, and it has been kind of hit or miss. Last year was pretty okay. So this year, we went ahead and purchased a green stalk, which for those of you that don't know is like a vertical planter that you can plant all kinds of stuff in. So I think it's got like, oh, someone's chatty. Would you like to come up here? So this vertical garden planter can fit, I think it has 42 different like holes or places to like plant in. So we're gonna be putting that on our balcony. And then we are also gonna have some miscellaneous like pots and things on our balcony. In addition to that space, we also were very fortunate this year, and I signed up for this community garden plot program in our city. And so essentially this program and organization has a bunch of different community gardens throughout the city, and you can pay like a small fee or work, do like a work study where you can do different projects around the garden and get that fee reduced. But you essentially pay for a little plot of land. So originally I started out with just one plot of land, which is a 10-foot by 10-foot plot, because I have never done this program and never had my own garden. Like I grew up gardening and stuff with my family, but I've never had my own. And so I wanted to just start small and just see how it went. And then we went to our gardener orientation. And so we essentially got to learn about the different like rules about the gardens and the different deadlines and different things. They also are really cool, and everything has to be like organic. And so they offer a lot of help in teaching you how to like garden and garden sustainably and organically. And so you can't use any chemicals or anything. They have like organic fertilizers and pest repellent, things like that, to kind of help you along the way. And they provide all the water, and the gardening tools are shared and everything. So it's very cool. So after we saw that plot, it was amazing, and I was in love and so excited. And I realized that maybe a 10-foot by 10-foot plot was kind of small for what I was envisioning. And so what we did is, after our gardener orientation, my partner actually called the organizer of the gardens to see, because there was a vacant plot just a couple spaces away from us. And so we called to see if we could get that one. So the person originally got back to us and said, yes, you can also have that one, like we will make that work. But then she followed up pretty immediately, and someone had moved to a different garden, and so she ended up giving us 2 garden plots right next to each other. So we're still in the same garden, we just moved a little bit, but we have 2 plots next to each other. So now we have a 10-foot by 20-foot area to garden in this year. And I'm so excited. So let's talk about what we're gonna be growing where. I've got a little seed haul for you. Then this is a jam-packed video. We're gonna go look at how I've started my seedlings and how they're doing and check in on them. And then at the end of this video, I am going to put in the clip of the garden, so it's a clip of when we went to go see the plot right after the orientation, the gardener orientation. And so it is before we found out we got the second plot, so it's only showing the one plot. But I still want to include it, and it's a little treat at the end of the video. So let's jump into the seeds we're going to be growing. So my original plan was that the balcony was mostly going to be growing flowers, herbs, and different sorts of plants for like teas or kind of like witchy, like have a witchy garden out on my balcony. So that was my original plan. And then in the actual garden plot, I was going to grow tomatoes and peppers, maybe some zucchini, some peas and beans, carrots, onions, essentially as much as I could fit in this plot. We might have to, once we actually get out there and start planning, reassess what we're gonna do. But let's talk about all the seeds that I have collected over the past couple months and that I'm gonna try and grow. So let's start first with the peas and beans. So these I have not planted because they all say that you wanna plant them just directly in the ground after the last frost. So I'm waiting on these. And I think what we're gonna do is do some T-posts with some like cattle panel trellis at one section of our garden for these all to climb up. But essentially we've got all kinds of different varieties here. So we've got Burpee Organics Sugar Daddy Pea. And I'm very excited for this. It says on the back that it's the first truly stringless potted pea. So we'll see how that goes. But so that is our first one that we're gonna plant. In addition, we've got this is from Ferrymorse, and this is Melting Sugar Snow Pea. And I'm also really excited about this. I really love to have peas like this, like the snow peas in like stir-fry dishes and stuff like that. So very excited for that. Then we've got this, it says, it's Ferrymorse, and it's a garden bean, and it says Blue Lake 275 bush. So I think this plant grows in a bush variety, and so we're gonna have this over by the other peas. Yeah, very excited for these as well. I'm hoping that maybe these will be good for making our own like French style green beans, because I love green bean casserole and I love just eating green beans like that on the side of like mashed potatoes and some kind of meat. So very excited for that. There is really no rhyme or reason to this. I have some piles set out, but so then we've also got these dollar store chives that I picked up last year. I have put them, started them, and this says that you can start them indoors, but the days to germinate is 15 to 21, and I think we're getting pretty close to that, and I have seen no action from the seeds that we have planted. So we'll see how those go and if they actually end up coming up. Then we've got some more things that I haven't planted yet. So we've got carrots, and this is it says Scarlet Nantes. I think that's the seed variety. And these are just, again, from Dollar Tree. So we will plant those out once we actually get out in the garden. Then we've got these Flavor King bunching onions from Burpee. And again, we are gonna plant these out in the garden, either maybe some in the plot, but also probably some on the balcony here. The carrots will obviously go in the garden plot. Okay, where should we go next? Let's just keep on this train of talking about the garden plot. So, for tomatoes, we've got 3 different varieties or different things that I've put in this category. So we've got San Marzano tomatoes from Burpee Organics. And I'm really excited for these because I believe San Marzano tomatoes are like really good for sauces and stews and canning, all those kinds of things. Yeah, it says perfect for sauces, canning, and drying on the back. And so I'm very excited. I planted these out, and when I go show you, they are prolific. They are going crazy in there. And there is so many of them that have sprouted. Then we've got Burpee Roma tomatoes, and these are, on the back it says 2-ounce paste type fruits with meaty interiors and few seeds, ideal for canning and sauces. So I'm very excited because I am going to do a combination of these, and these have also been sprouting very well. Then we've got some green tomatillos, which I'm very excited to make like salsa verde or something like that with these. And we have planted some of these, and they are coming up as well. So all the tomatoes are doing great so far. Then we've got probably one of my biggest categories here, peppers. So we've got all kinds of different peppers here. We've got a serrano chili pepper that I planted out. I think 1 or 2 of these is coming up, but we'll check when we actually go in there. And actually we're gonna bring the seeds out here, the seedlings, and start separating them because they need to be separated. Then we've got Fairy Morse hot pepper mix. And so it looks like there is some habaneros, some jalapenos. It looks like all kinds of different like hot peppers in there. It actually says, oh, I thought it said what varieties were in here. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know that it does. But anyway, very excited to see just what happens because these are kind of like a mystery fun grab bag. Then we've got jalapeno hot peppers, and it says that these can also be grown in a container. So I think a couple of these have come up, so I'm definitely gonna put some in the garden plot. But if we need more space, I really love jalapenos and want to have some left over because I wanna try canning cowboy candy this year. And so I might plant some more on our balcony. We'll just see. Whoop. Then we've got these hot pepper Big Thai hybrids. So these are also container friendly. So for some of these peppers that I have started seedlings, if they don't all fit in the garden, I might either give some away or just put them on the balcony. So we've got these as well. I think these are starting to sprout as well. Then we've got a sweet pepper kaleidoscope blend. I just thought this was so pretty. And it says 20% California Wonder, 10% chocolate, 10% Emerald Giant, 10% Horizon, 10% Lilac Bell, 10% Midnight Dreams, 10% Purple Beauty, 10% Sunbright, and 10% White Bell. And so I'm very excited for these sweet peppers, bell peppers to come in. I think some of these have started sprouting as well. A lot of my sprouts have actually been doing really well. So then, at the gardener orientation, they also have a seed library that you can go from and pick seeds out of, and they're just seeds that are donated or that they have extras of. And so I picked up 2 heirloom varieties, which I'm gonna try and plant some of these, but I haven't started the seedlings yet, so I need to go ahead and do that. But we've got some Anaheim peppers, and we've got some poblano peppers. And both of these I'm very excited to plant out and see if they grow. I also love that they're heirloom varieties, and so I believe that means I can save these seeds year after year. And the kind of fun part is that we are not going to live it where we do like forever. And so when we move, we get to take a little piece of our time here with us. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's talk about the other things that might go in the garden. So, we have some like squash type stuff here. So we've got dark green zucchini squash. I also picked these up from the seed garden at the gardener orientation, and I love zucchini. I love them so much. And so I think we're gonna try and grow these also on a trellis in the actual garden plot. So we'll see how those go. We have not started these seeds yet because I believe you can just start them directly in the soil. Now these 2, I grabbed them from the seed library, and I don't know yet how much space we're gonna have, if we're gonna be able to do this, but maybe. So we've got the Table Queen acorn squash. It's also an heirloom variety, which I love. And actually I'm wondering if these are small enough where we might be able to grow them on a trellis. So maybe we could grow some acorn squash. Then we've also got a New England sugar pie pumpkin, another heirloom variety, and I would love to grow pumpkins. These seem like they are small-ish pumpkins, so maybe I'll look into it and see if maybe we can grow these on a trellis. If not, I don't think we're gonna be able to grow them in our garden plot because they're just gonna take up too much ground space. Okay, now let's talk about the things that are going on the balcony, and that might also be sprinkled in the garden where we have space or different things like that. So let's start with the herbs. These, honestly, you'll see when I bring the seedlings out, they're struggling, I think. I think I might have planted them too deep in the soil. I don't really know. So we've got sage, broadleaf sage, which is struggling. Then we've got, it says vulgare or oregano. So we've got that. I don't remember which of these have sprouted and which haven't. Then we've got just straight up thyme. And so we'll see about that. And then we've got, let me do some shuffling here. So we've got rosemary. I don't know if this has come up, but we have planted some out. We've also got peppermint planted out. This was actually just planted. I think I got this from the seed library, and so I think I just planted this recently. Then we've got basil. I love basil. You will see I started like 2 rows of basil plants, I think, in my little seedling pots because I love basil so much. I want most of our green stock to be basil so I can dry a bunch of it and so I can make a bunch of pesto and freeze it. Basil is so good. And I love basil so much that we also, in addition to the sweet Italian basil, we got some dark opal basil, which is super purple and pretty, and I've never had it, so I'm very excited for that. Now let's move on to kind of the more like flowers, medicinal things, and tea flowers or plants, and also kind of my witchy garden, witchy essentials. So we've got wildflowers. Those are not necessarily a part of this, but I also just want our balcony to be pretty, and I will probably maybe plant some in our garden too. I need to do some research to make sure these aren't gonna like go wild and go in everyone else's garden too, because I want to be mindful of that. But what a pretty mix of flowers. So then we've got some foxglove, which not only are they just absolutely gorgeous, I have never grown them and I'm just excited. So we've got a mixed colors foxglove. Then we've got purple coneflower or echinacea, which is gorgeous and I think also can be used for teas or certain like medicinal properties. Then we've got nasturtium, and we've got a dwarf jewel mixed colors. And again, I think these are kind of similar. I've never grown any of these things, but I think it would be absolutely amazing to have all of these growing on our balcony. Then we've got Pacific Beauty calendula. Again, very similar. All of these I just tried to get like a mix of different colors so we could have some variety. And then the last thing is this true lavender, and I can't remember if this is the variety that you actually have to wait 2 years before you harvest it, or if we can harvest it right away. But I started some lavender seeds and we'll see if they actually germinate or do anything. In addition to that, I do want to get some chamomile seeds. I just couldn't find any the other day when I was at the store. So I do want to grow some like chamomile seeds out there as well. So that's my seed haul. I'm very excited. And now I'm gonna go get the seedlings. Actually, I'll bring you along with me to show you my little setup. It's gonna be a little loud, I think, because the dryer, it's in my like laundry room pantry area, and the dryer is going right now, so it might be a little loud, so I'll try to talk louder, or maybe I'll end up dubbing over this. But let's go grab those, and then we'll bring them out here, and we're gonna separate the seedlings. Okay, so this is the pantry area, like pantry laundry room at the back of our kitchen. So we've got a fan here just to keep air circulating to mimic wind so the seedlings are all healthy and strong. So here's the little setup. It gets very warm in here because of the dryer, but also we keep that door closed. And so it's about 78 degrees in here right now, and the humidity is about 34%. Sometimes I boil some water and set it in here just so it gets a little more humid and warm. But we've got these stacked up so they can reach the grow lights. And we've got these grow lights that go on a 12-hour cycle every day. And so you can see we've got all these amazing seedlings. I just purchased these trays from Walmart, and then these also kind of like roaster pans from Walmart, and it was very affordable, and this is how I'm starting our seeds. So I'm gonna bring them out and we will go ahead and separate them and talk about them. I'll show you a little bit more. Okay, so here are the seedlings. Sorry for the shaking. So as you can see, I, at the time of planting these, did not have my like plant tags to write on. And so I used a little creative solution here of some paper clips that I unfolded and stuck into the ground with some little post-it notes wrapped around them with the names on them. So let's actually spin this around so we can see it better. So as far as this tray has gone, this whole row right here was supposed to be chives. Nothing has sprouted yet. This row, so we've got right here, these 4 pods are all tomatillos. And so you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hiding back there is another one, a 5th one that is sprouting. So that's so exciting. Then we've got the next 4. These were all planted with Roma tomatoes. And we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 plants, it looks like, of Roma tomatoes. And you can see they're all starting to develop more leaves than their first set. I think that's called their first like true leaves or something like that. But I've been going through and just brushing them, trying to strengthen them up as they grow in here. Then back here in these back 4 cells, we've got San Maranzano tomatoes, and oh my goodness, they have gone absolutely wild. You can see how many are in there, and that's mainly why we need to separate these. So I think there is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 plants there, and there is no way I'm gonna be able to plant all of those in my garden, but we'll go ahead and separate them. Maybe some friends will want them, or I can share them with other gardeners at the community garden or whatever. So then we've got, over here we've got all our peppers. So here we've got 4 trays of jalapeno plants, and you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th jalapeno coming up. I don't think, oh, there's one right here too. So we've got 5 jalapeno plants growing, which is honestly kind of a perfect amount, I feel like. They are getting a little leggy, I think, but hopefully like separating them out will help. Then back here we've got 4 sweet pepper tray, or kind of starting areas. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants growing. There's one hiding down there that I can see. So we've got 6 of those actually coming up, which is very exciting. Sometimes I go around in here and move up the bigger rocks and things. I didn't do a great job of getting the most perfect soil. So then back here we've got that hot pepper mix that I talked about. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those coming up. Have no idea what the actual peppers are or what the actual plants are gonna be, but we've got 4 of those. So then right here we've got 3 cells of big Thai chilies. These have also done really well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Thai chilies coming up, so that's very exciting. Then back here I think is our 3 cells of Serrano chilies, and only 1 has come up out of this little batch. So I don't know how that's going, and actually maybe there's another one right down here. Oh, I think there's another one coming up. Okay, so maybe there's 2 of those. So that's exciting that there will be 2 of those. So then if we migrate over here to our other tray, we've got my sweet Italian basil, which is 2 rows. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 cells of that basil with multiple plants in each. So I love that, and it's great. Then we've got a whole 6 cells, a row of the dark opal basil. Not every cell has germinated, but we've got about 6 or 7 plants in here. So I think that's pretty good. Then we've got sage in these 4 cells. Nothing has come up. We've got lavender in these 4 cells, and there's only tiny little things coming up. Oh, you can see them way better on camera than you can see them in person. But so you see those greens, so we'll see how that goes. Then we've got thyme in these 4 cells, and there is a little bit coming up there, but that's pretty much it. Over here, we have our oregano in these 3, and that's coming up a lot. We'll see if that continues to grow. And then in these back 3 is where our rosemary is. And we've got a little bit of green there, not much in the other 2. And then these 2 little cups just have some peppermint in them. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate out these seedlings so they each have their own little cup. I'm probably gonna put them in cups like this with holes poked in the bottom. I got a bunch of these like mouthwash cups from Walmart for cheap. And so I'm gonna do that and put them all back in these trays. So that's why we have the extra space to be able to expand into. And I actually am gonna probably leave you there. Okay, I'm gonna throw in a clip of the garden tour since you've been so patient and waited along this entire video. And I'll go show you what the community garden looks like. And then I will come back here to send you off. Oh my gosh, so we just got out of new gardener orientation and I was grinning like a fool throughout the entire thing. And we are about to walk up to our plot, our community garden plot, to see it for the first time. And so I wanted to include it here at the end of this seed haul video and show you where we're gonna be gardening this summer. I'm so excited and I have no idea what to expect, but we're gonna make the most of it. Okay, I'll check back in once we get to the actual plot. Okay, we're here at the garden. So we've got our little welcome to the Peter Pan garden. And let me see, hold on. So this is what it looks like. Here's all of the different plots. Over here we've got some compost, I think. And they've also got some wood chips and like mulching coverage. Our plots, lots of different plots. And then our actual plot is right over here. Sage. And we've got our little markers. It's a little 10 by 10 plot. So not super huge, but I think it'll do us some good here. You can see where the fence is over there. But it's pretty good. And look at Cody over there perusing. Okay, hopefully that clip of the garden got you as excited as I am about this whole process and the next like couple of months that we're gonna have as we plant all of these seedlings in the ground and watch them grow and take care of them. But I wanna say thank you so much for sticking around. If you have any tips on doing this whole process and planting them out and managing a garden, any ideas you have for how to manage and get the most out of a small spot of plot, I would greatly appreciate them. This is the first time I'm really like starting seeds completely on my own and planting them out. So I'm very excited, but also would love any information and feedback you have. But thanks for hanging out with me, and until next time, stay grounded.